Hey, what's going on guys? So it turns out I'm going to use this as a strong squad track. So day one we've done, now this is day two. So we're going to explore some more connective tissue stuff in our training, especially in our warm up. And I've comprised 3 exercises together that I feel are really good to warm up your hips, spine and shoulders. So here we're going to start with some box controlled articular rotations. Now the height of the box you use is going to be dependent on your flexibility. But what we are looking to achieve is we are going to stand next to a box. We are going to raise, we're going to start with our leg over to the side here. We're going to raise our leg up as high as we can to this point. Then we're going to come to the centre. We're going to raise up higher, come out to the outside. Once we get to this point here, where our foot is just hovering over the box, we're going to try and drop our knee down and push our leg over to the back. Then we're going to come back with our feet in line with each other. So what that's going to look like a little bit more like in the pace, leg out to the side, come up to a point where we feel restriction. We're going to then come to the centre, we're going to raise our leg, come out to the box, hovering, drop our knee over, extend our leg back, reaching as far back as we can, and then we're bringing our feet together. So we're going to do 6 reps each side. You can start lower, build the height of the box up. You can also use things like ankle weights to make it a little bit more challenging, or if a 30-inch box is too easy, raise some plates up on the box. So 6 to 8 reps each side on there. Then we're going to move into a trap raise. So for our trap raise here, I'm going to have you sat on a bench. I'm going to have you bowed over at like a 45-degree angle. And what we're looking at with these dumbbells here is we're going to raise our dumbbells up and out to the side. I'm going to come down nice and controlled. So just nice tempo, 6 to 8 reps on there. After we've done that, we're going to move into the spine, placing the balls of our feet on a plate, slightly soft knees. We're going to start in a standing position. We're going to put our chin to our chest. We are then going to try and roll each vertebrae of our back individually until we get as low as we can, ensuring that we pull our belly button in as we get a bit deeper to help force up our lumbar spine, go as low as we can, and then reverse. So we're coming up, pushing our back up to the sky. We're doing 1 vertebrae at a time. We're coming up, all the way up until we're fully straightened out and our head is fully up again. So 1 more rep of that, chin in, shoulders forward. Each individual vertebrae is coming down. We're pulling our belly button in, try and get that lumbar spine, our lower back bending. We're going to reach down as low as we can. We're going to get that point, then we're going to fight on the way up. We're going to do each individual vertebrae the opposite way, forcing each individual bit to straighten. Coming up here, thoracic, shoulders back, head up. Good stuff guys. So we're looking at doing 2 rounds of 6 to 8 of each for the first 2. Part 2 of the warm up. So we have something called a Jfly. Now I'm not saying that I've claimed this or anything, but I haven't seen anyone else do a fly this way, so I'm going to call it a Jfly. And we have a 90-90 glute activation drill. We have a spine segmented sit up. So we have shoulders, hips and spine again in our warm up. So the Jfly I'm going to show you from a different angle so you can see like how I want your arms. So, and I'll explain it kind of upside down I guess. So we're going to lay on our bench. We're going to have 2 dumbbells. And I want to stress that this movement is hard. So you're going to have to go quite light on here. So feet come on the floor. We're going to start up nice and high here. We're going to come down, externally rotate. We're going to come down, we're going to abduct, then we are going to externally rotate, and then we're going to press those dumbbells out, we're going to come back, internally rotate, adduct, press, down, abduct, externally rotate, press, come back in, internally rotate, adduct, and drive up. So that is the Jfly, 6 to 8 reps. Next, we're going to do the 90-90 glute activation. So you're going to stick one leg in. The leg that's behind you is going to be the one that's in the band. So we're going to first sit on the floor with your front leg out in that 90 position. We take our back leg, we loop the band through, and then we shoot the leg behind us, and then we slide back to give us some resistance. So we've got a little bit of resistance on the band there. What we're going to do, keeping this back foot planted on the floor, we're going to raise our knee up. And we're going to hold it for a couple of seconds, and then we're going to come back down. The position that we want our body, we want our belly button to be facing in the same direction as our front knee, and we want to stay nice and controlled there. And we're going to raise our knee up, try and feel our glute activate, and then we're going to come back down. Come up, nice big squeeze, fight it a little bit, come back down. Come back down. Again, 6 to 8 reps of that, and then we're going to move into our segmented sit-up. So what we're going to do here is we're going to hold a band, the same thing that we did with the Jefferson curl. We're going to try and round at each individual vertebrae. So I'm going down, I'm pulling my belly button in, I'm posteriorly tilting my pelvis, and I'm trying to get my lower back on the floor first, each individual vertebrae, and then I'm trying to do the same on my upper back, coming down nice and slow until my shoulders are flat and my head's flat against the floor. Then I'm going to do the opposite, so my chin's coming in, my shoulders are coming forwards. I'm doing each individual bit in my spine, through the lower back, and then I'm coming up to the top of the sit-up. Reverse the movement, all the way down, nice and controlled. Open out the spine at the bottom, lie flat, neck, shoulders, get that thoracic spine, belly button in for the lower spine, and then we drive up. So phase 2 of the warm-up, 2 sets through, 6 to 8 Jfly, 6 to 8 glute activation from a 90-90, and 6 to 8 reps of the spine segmented sit-up. Strength bit, so if you're on the 30-minute track, just do 2 to 3 sets. If you're on the 60-minute track, do 3 to 5 sets, depending on how you feel. We have 3 to 5 rounds, or 2 to 3 rounds, depending on which track you're following, of a pigeon reach over, a Z press, and an isometric hold. Now I'm looking for the weights to be heavy on this, they want to be challenging. Your last few reps of each set should be hard. So your pigeon reach over is going to be, you're going to be in like a pigeon stretch here on the bench, so you've got one leg up. What I've done here is due to this being causing like quite a lot of stress around like the outside of the knee, I don't want you to go completely flat, so I want you to find an angle that's comfortable for your knee here. So, you know, I'm only propped up a little bit, I could probably do it flat, but I feel just better, just loading a bit more at an angle. So make yours angled, take a dumbbell, and then what you're going to do is you're going to keep your back knee off the floor, so you're going to stay nice and active here, and then you're going to reach all the way over and down to the floor, and then you're going to come up nice and high. So all the way down, coming up nice and high. The further you reach over, the more you'll feel it in your glute. So if you want it really glute focused, reach all the way over. If you're not that bothered too much about making it glute focused and you want like a more all round sort of like hinge, then just reach a little bit here. So we're going to do 6 to 8 of those each side, and then we're going to move into the Z press. So we're going to be seated on the floor with our legs out straight in front of us, ideally not leaning on anything. Take the dumbbells up to our shoulders here, and I like to press in a hammer grip. So the grip's like this versus this. So hammer grip, better for the shoulder. Here, press the dumbbells up to arms in line with ears, come down with control. As soon as they tap the shoulders, we're straight back up. So come down with control, tap, straight back up. Down with control, tap, straight back up. We don't want to rest at the bottom. I don't want you doing dead stop sort of Z presses. I want to keep the tension in the muscle the whole time. So we're going to come nice and slow, tap, straight back up. It will promote better blood flow to your connective tissues and your shoulders, will grow more muscle, and yeah, just be all round better for what we're trying to focus on for this phase. So that's your Z press and your pigeon reach overs. Then next, now you can play around with the setup on this. I'm going down low purely because I can fit everything into the camera, but you can do an isometric pull-up hold by stepping on a box and then jumping up to the top of a pull-up bar and holding, or a set of rings. Or if you don't quite have a strict pull-up yet, this could be a really good version for you, and I just want to show you this because quite a lot of people that follow my programs don't have pull-ups. So I have this set up here with the rings. You could set a bar up in the rack as well if you wanted, whatever you have access to. I prefer the rings because it allows like a little bit more rotation, and yeah, it's a little bit more functional, should we say. So we're going to take our rings, we stand behind the rings, and I'm going to get myself to a position where my fists are in line with my chest, and then I'm just going to let that take my weight. And then if you don't have a pull-up, you can just put your feet out in front of you and just gently touch the floor here and just hold for as long as you can. So it's like a supported isometric hold. Or if you just want to go the whole hog isometric because you have pull-ups or you just want to give it a go, then you have a couple of options. You can hold yourself at the top with your knees tucked, one leg out, both legs out, both legs in. Whatever you want to do, and we're just going to build to just a max isometric hold. So 30-minute track, 2 to 3 sets, an hour track, 3 to 5 sets. I'm going to say you've never done this movement before in your life, and it's a great way to get some rotation in the hip. The more rotation we have in the hip, the healthier our knees are going to be. So the first exercise is going to look a bit silly, but once you get the hang of it, we start adding weight to it via ankle weights, maybe against a band for resistance. It can be really effective into like making our hips very strong, very mobile, and protecting our knees. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit one foot on the box here, the other leg's just going to be dangling off. Now the goal is to not let your hamstring come away from the box. So if you need to put some pressure on your leg with one of your hands, that's fine. But what we're looking to do is we're trying to see how much rotation we have in our hip here, keeping our leg on the box. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 6 reps here, trying to move as far as we can. At this end point here, I'm trying to push for more the whole time. I'm trying to push for more, try and force it, and then calm it down every rep. So you're going to spend like 3 to 5 seconds at the top of this trying to push for more range, come down. So we're going to do 6 reps. Then I want you to change positions. So we're going to stay on the same leg, but this time take the hand that was just resting on the box and reach through towards your knee. See if you can get the same range. So here we go, I'm going to go again. You can see my range is considerably less. So I'm going to try and fight for range here and then come down 6 reps. Fight for range here, come down 6 reps. Then I'm going to reach all my body weight over to the other side And I'm going to try and do the same thing. So here, reach, try and get full range, come back down, try and get more range, come back down for 6 reps. So you're pretty much going to do 18 reps each leg for that. We're then going to move into some lunges, and we're going to do dumbbell lunges. And again, I want to go fairly heavy here. So you're going to take 2 dumbbells, and I'm going to put the focus on forward stepping lunges today. So we're going to go here, step forwards, come back, step forwards, come back. And we're looking at doing 6 to 8 each leg for that. After you've done your dumbbell lunges, we have this weird kind of banded row setup. So I'm going to do this on rings just because in here it's easier for me to show you. But you can do this with a bar if you want, and just set up a bar and a rack. I just don't have enough space that way to lean back, so I'm going to do it on the rings. And what this is going to do, this is actually, if you did this on a pull-up bar, this is how you'd build like a 1-arm pull-up. You'd work at using thinner and thinner resistance bands to help like pull you up, and you'll see how that will work in a minute. So what you're going to do is you've got a resistance band one side of your bar or on one ring. You just grip the other side. Anchor your feet against the wall, and it's just going to help develop some really good single arm strength. So I'm gripping my band here, I'm leaning back and putting my feet against the plates. I'm coming to a straight arm. I'm still pulling in with both arms, but see, this is moving here. So I'm using mostly through my right arm here, like so. So you're going to build to 6 to 8 reps each side again. This finishing portion, if you're on the hour track, 3 to 5 sets. If you're on the 30-minute track, 2 to 3 sets. So yeah, that's the end of the session. Enjoy.